Hey guys, and welcome back to another challenge video. In today's video, we're going to try and see if we can beat Pokemon Sliver with just a Rattata. And for you non-intellectuals out there, this is known as the Youngster Joey challenge. And for those of you who don't know, this is Youngster Joey. Now you might know Youngster Joey for his signature yellow shirt and blue cap, or his top percent Rattata. But is Youngster Joey capable of beating Pokemon Silver by himself? Let's find out. Anyway, with that out of the way, it's finally time for us to get into the rules. Rule number 1, I am only allowed to use Rattata to do damage in battle. Rule number 2, I will not be allowed to use items in battle including held items. Rule number 3, I will not be allowed to use TMs or HMs on Rattata. I'll obviously allowed to use HMs on different Pokemon so I can get through the game. Rule number 4, glitches and exploits will not be allowed during this playthrough, except to get Rattata as my starter, obviously. Anyway, without any further ado, it's time for us to finally get into the challenge. Well, to start off the challenge, I have to name my character, and obviously I name it Youngster Joey. If that wasn't obvious to you, maybe you're not the sharpest tool in the shed. Now for some reason, if you weren't listening to the intro in this video, I obviously chose Rattata as my starter. Now as for a name for our Rattata, I feel like there was only one name that was befitting of a Rattata of this caliber. I named it Top Percent because it's the best Rattata in the entire world. Even better than real Youngster Joey's Rattata. And these are Rattata's stats. But without further ado, it's time for us to head on the road and begin our journey. After leaving Professor Elm's house, we head up to Professor Oak and receive the Pokédex. And with that out of the way, it's time for us to finally battle our rival for the very first time. I start the battle against this level 5 Totodile by hitting it with Quick Attack and doing just under half damage. And for some reason, because they're stupid, they use Leer, which is a completely useless move, and then I hit it with Quick Attack again, knocking it down into the red. Now it finally decides to actually use a move that's useful and uses Scratch, but it's too late, and I take it out with one more Quick Attack, winning the battle and defeating my rival for the first time. After defeating our rival, it's finally time for us to give our rival a name. Now as you guys know, I'm very mature, so I thought very long and hard about our rival's name, and I came up with the perfect name, Tinypp. It doesn't really mean anything, I promise. Anyway, after naming our rival, we go and talk to our mother, who asks if we want to save money. Now because this is the Youngster Joey challenge, and Youngster Joey is like 10 years old, I decided to embrace the kid mentality, and kids don't want to save money, because saving money is for little bitch.
The next sequence in the show, alas, is lost. The pertaining can of film was destroyed in a drink-related misadventure in Fulham. It was an idiotic altercation, which I bitterly regret, both for personal and professional reasons.
It is finally time for us to battle our namesake, Youngster Joey, and see whose Rattata is truly the best. Because my Rattata is level 8 and his Rattata is level 4, my Quick Attack does a lot of damage, leaving his Rattata on a quarter health. Now his Rattata uses Tackle, barely doing any damage, and then I take it out with a second Quick Attack, winning the battle and proving our Rattata is superior. Anyway, shortly after defeating Youngster Joey, we arrive in Violet City. And then we talk to our rival again inside of Bellsprout Tower. And then it's time for us to battle the Sage. He starts off the battle by sending out his Bellsprout. I decide to use Quick Attack on Bellsprout, doing over half damage, and then he uses Growth, increasing his special attack. Unfortunately for him though, this doesn't go in his favour because I take him out with a second Quick Attack before he gets a chance to even hit me. Next up is Sage sends out his second Bellsprout. It's pretty much the same story. I use Quick Attack, it uses Growth, and then I take it out with a second Quick Attack. My Rattata also learns Hyper Fang, which is pretty cool. Last but not least, it sends out Hoot Hoot. Now Hyper Fang does a lot of damage to Hoot Hoot, knocking it down to the red and almost taking it out in one shot. I do end up taking Hoot Hoot out with Quick Attack, winning the battle and defeating Sage Lee. After defeating Bellsprout Tower, it's finally time for us to battle the first gym leader, Faulkner. To start off the battle, Faulkner sends out his level 7 Pidgey, which goes down to 1 Hyper Fang. Last but not least, Faulkner sends out his Pidgeotto. Unlike Pidgey, it doesn't go down in one shot to Hyper Fang, but it almost goes down, and then I take it out second round with Quick Attack, defeating Faulkner the first gym and claiming the first gym badge. Now that the first gym is defeated, it's time for us to head to the second gym in Azalea Town. Unfortunately, before we can verse the second gym, I had to beat Team Rocket in Slipper Cave. There was really no issue, so I just skipped over it. So now it's time for us to finally get into the second gym battle. Speaking of the second gym leader, it's time for us to battle the second gym leader, Bugsy, the user of Bug-type Pokemon. Bugsy starts off the battle by sending out his Metapod, which goes down to 2 Hyper Fangs. Next up he sends out his Kakuna, which I hit with a Hyper Fang, but then hits me with Poison Sting, poisoning me, but then I take it out with a Quick Attack. Last but not least, Bugsy sends out his strongest Pokemon, Scyther, and somehow I get super lucky hitting it once with Hyper Fang, getting a critical hit, and then hitting it again with Hyper Fang, getting another critical hit, taking out Scyther, defeating the second gym leader, Bugsy, and claiming myself a second gym badge. Now to save some time in this video, I did attempt to battle my rival after beating the second gym, but I wasn't able to beat him with struggle. I just kept taking myself out, so I decided to grind up to level 27 when Rattata learns Pursuit, and now I'm going to try again. Let's see how it goes. Now at level 27, it's time for us to battle our rival once again. He starts off by sending out Ghastly, which I hit with Pursuit, taking it out in one shot. Now that Ghastly is defeated, the battle is pretty straightforward. I end up one-shotting Zubat with Hyper Fang, taking it out, and next up is Croconaw, and Croconaw goes down to 2 Hyper Fangs, winning the battle and defeating my rival. After defeating a rival, we receive Cut from a strange man in the forest. Always accept strange gifts from men in forests. Good life lesson for you right there. And because I'm stupid, I forgot the rule that Rattata can't learn any HMs either, so I had to catch a Pokemon to learn Cut. So I ended up catching a Paris. Sorry guys, I'm just an idiot.
You're so stupid!
Now with the ability Cut, we easily make it to the forest and we arrive in Goldenwood City, meaning it's time for the 3rd gym leader, Whitney. Now Whitney starts the battle by sending out her Clefairy. Now Clefairy goes down to 1 Hyper Fang. Next up is the strongest Pokemon, Milk Tank. This is always an issue in most runs. Let's see how this goes. Unfortunately, my first Hyper Fang misses against Milk Tank, and then it hits me really hard with Stomp, and then I hit it again with Hyper Fang, actually hitting this time, knocking it down to very low health. It hits me a rollout, doing a decent amount of damage, and then I take it out with the 2nd Hyper Fang, defeating Whitney and claiming ourselves the 3rd gym badge. And now with Whitney defeated, we head to Ecruteak City. And now that we are in Ecruteak City, it's time for us to battle our rival once again.
The next sequence in the show, alas, is lost. The pertaining can of film was destroyed in a drink-related misadventure in Fulham.
Unfortunately, the footage of me beating my rival, the actual battle itself, corrupted. I only got the end here where it says that he was defeated or whatever. So if that's not good enough for you, you can leave all the hate in the comments, and I'll definitely avoid reading them. Anyway, after defeating my rival, it's time for us to battle the 4th gym leader, Morty, the user of Ghost-type Pokemon. I start off by hitting his Ghastly with Pursuit, doing a decent amount of damage, almost killing it, but unfortunately his Ghastly takes itself out with Curse, and Curse is going to screw this battle up a little bit. Next up, Morty sends out his Haunter, and I hit it with Pursuit, doing a decent amount of damage again, but I don't take it out in one shot, unfortunately, so Curse hits me, and if you don't know what Curse does, it gets more damage every turn, so it's slowly going to start doing more and more damage. On a more positive note though, my next Pursuit does take out Haunter. Next up is Gengar. Now against Gengar, I used Pursuit a few times, so it's going to be a 3-shot hair, meaning I have to get hit with Curse twice. But I did manage to take out Gengar, leaving me on 20 health. Last but not least is his 2nd Haunter. Finally, he sends out his Haunter, and this is where the battle lands unfortunately. My Pursuit is not enough to take it out in one shot, and then Curse takes me out unfortunately. Time to try this battle again. Because I have such bad luck, it takes about 12 attempts to actually get a run where I don't get Curse at the start of the battle. But this is the run where I get up to his Gengar with a decent amount of health, and take out Gengar with 40 health remaining and not cursed. Last but not least is Haunter. Now against Haunter I use Pursuit, doing a decent amount of damage, knocking it under half health, and then for some reason he uses Mean Look instead of an actual decent move, and then I take it out with a 2nd Pursuit, defeating Morty and claiming ourselves the 4th gym badge. After defeating Gym Leader Morty, it's time for us to head to Olivine City. Unfortunately I can't battle the gym yet, I have to go on a quest to get a medicine for a Pokemon, so I have to get a Pokemon that can surf, so I decided to catch a Krabby and name it Surfer Boy, because I'm unoriginal and that's just the only name I can think of. After a brief surfing session, we arrive in Cyanwood City. We also receive the medicine needed for the Pokemon. Now after receiving the medicine, I decided to battle Chuck. Now because this video is already longer than I want it to be, it's going to be like a 20-minute video probably at this point, I decided to cut out the battle because it was too ridiculously easy. I won the entire battle without taking any damage because all I did was use Dynamic Punch the entire time, and I ended up winning, so yeah. No point showing it. If you guys want to leave hate in the comments, go ahead and do that, because it helps the algorithm anyway. All comments are good. Leave a comment even if it's negative, because I'll definitely read them. I read every single comment in my videos. Let's continue the video. After defeating Chuck, you have to catch a Pokemon that can learn Fly. I decided to catch Farfetch because it's the only Pokemon in the area that can learn Fly that I know about. And then I return the medicine and it's time to battle the next gym leader. And at this point we hit our first big major roadblock. Gym Leader Jasmine, the Steel type gym leader. Now you probably realize why this is such a difficult battle, because I'm a normal type and I only have normal and dark type moves against Steel type Pokemon. So yeah, that's the issue in this run. You're seeing right now is the best run at level 50, which is where I had to grind up to even stand a chance against the first 2 Pokemon. But obviously I didn't beat her at level 50, as you'll see in this little clip right here. So I have to level up a little bit more. You're going to be surprised what level I had to beat to actually having her chance at beating her strongest Pokemon, Steelix. And no, you're not reading that number wrong. I am currently level 75 trying to beat her Steelix. I took out the first 2 Pokemon in one shot with Hyper Fang, and now it's time to see if we can beat Steelix. Even at level 75, my Hyper Fang doesn't do that much damage, it's about a quarter health, so it's going to be like a 3 or 4 shot kill. Now luckily for me, I managed to go first on the first turn, meaning that I'm doing more damage before it does damage to me, winning the battle and finally defeating Steelix. Now that battle was super hard, pun intended. After defeating the 6th gym, it's time for us to head to the Lake of Rage. It's time for us to battle the super rare shiny red Gyarados, but instead of catching it like a normal person, I obviously kill it, because it's different, and being different is wrong. Now to show how weak this Gyarados is, I take it out of 1 Hyper Fang. Now you might think it's because I'm 45 levels higher than it, but you'd actually be wrong. It's because I'm a Rattata and Rattata is overpowered. Anyway, after defeating Gyarados, we run into a random guy at the lake who wants me to help him defeat Team Rocket or some crap. He's definitely not going to be important to the story later, so take no accord to this character. He's just a random bystander. Now some people might say, as an 11-year-old boy, it's wrong to trust people that you meet on the side of the road, but technically we're not on the side of the road, so it's fine. After clearing out the Team Rocket base, time for us to battle with Team Rocket Executive, and I find it so funny that I was too lazy to give them names in this game. It's absolutely hilarious. Anyway, he starts with the battle by sending out his Zubat, which goes down to 1 Hyper Fang because obviously I'm level 75, and it's only level 22. Next up he sends out my evolved form, Eradicate, but obviously Eradicate is inferior to Rattata, so I take it out with 1 Hyper Fang, and it only does a little bit of damage into the quick attack. Absolutely useless. Should have kept it as a Rattata. What a noob. Last but not least, Team Rocket Executive sends out his Coughing, which obviously goes down to 1 shot with Hyper Fang, because I'm level 75, meaning once again I've defeated another Team Rocket Executive. Anyway, with Team Rocket defeated once again, it's time for us to battle the 7th gym leader, Price, the user of Ice-type Pokemon. Now anyone who's played a Pokemon game before knows that Ice-type is the worst type in the entire game because it has so many weaknesses, so this battle is just super easy, and I fly through it without taking much damage at all. So I'm just going to talk over it and say this battle is absolutely crap. Anyway, while you watch the battle, it's time for my first and only shameless plug for the video. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. We're trying to hit 150 subscribers before my birthday, which is the 22nd of May. It's only a few days, I think we can do it. It's only 15 subscribers. It'll really make my day. And if you guys don't feel like subscribing, which I understand completely, then at least leave a like on the video or a dislike, and then let me know what you thought of the video in the comments, because I'm always trying to improve my videos so I can get more people to enjoy my videos. So yeah, any criticism helps as long as it's constructive. Anyway, that's the end of the battle with Price. I told you it was super easy, I barely lost any health. To save time on the video, I'm going to skip a few Team Rocket fights because they're obviously easy as hell at my current level. I'm going to skip right to my rival fight. To start off the battle, my rival sends out his Golbat, which I use Quick Attack on, taking it out in 1 shot. It's because Rattata is so fast.
I don't think you have any idea how fast I really am. I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Next up he sends out his Haunter, which goes down to 1 Pursuit, because it's super effective. Next up he sends out his Sneasel, which also goes down to 1 Quick Attack. Last but not least, he sends out his Feraligatr, and I hit it with a Quick Attack, not taking it out in 1 shot surprisingly, and then he hits me with Rage. Why the hell does his Feraligatr still have Rage, like the worst normal type move? But whatever, and then I take it out with the 2nd Quick Attack, defeating my rival once again. Anyway, after defeating my rival, it's finally time for the final battle against the Team Rocket Executive. To start off the battle, he sends out his Houndour, which is actually one of my favourite Pokemon from this generation. I take it out in 1 shot with Hyper Fang though. Next up he sends out his Coughing. I get super unlucky against Coughing and miss 2 Hyper Fangs in a row. He hits me with a little bit of damage from Tackle and Sludge, but I eventually take it out with Hyper Fang anyway on the 3rd try. Last but not least, Team Rocket Executive sends out his Houndoom. Unfortunately, Houndoom still goes down to 1 Hyper Fang, meaning I've beaten the Team Rocket Executive for the final time. Now, I'm not sure if I said this before in another video, but Houndoom's actually my favourite Pokemon from Gen 2. What's your guys' favourite Pokemon? Comment down below because I might shout you out in the next video. After defeating Team Rocket, it's finally time for the final gym battle against Leader Claire. She starts off the battle by sending out her Dragonair, which goes down to 1 Hyper Fang. Next up she sends out, guess what, another Dragonair, and guess what, it goes down to another Hyper Fang. Surprising. Next up she sends out another Dragonair, which also goes down to 1 Hyper Fang. They really didn't have any Dragon-type Pokemon in this generation. Last but not least, she sends out the only other Dragon-type Pokemon in the entire game apparently, Kingdra. Now if you're expecting Kingdra to survive 1 Hyper Fang, you're going to be sorely mistaken because it also goes down to 1 Hyper Fang, meaning I've defeated the final gym. It was pretty easy. After doing a small test to receive the 8th gym badge, we head back and collect the Master Ball from the Professor. Anyway, with the Master Ball in hand, it's time for us to go and battle the legendary Pokemon for this game, Lugia. Now you guys probably guess that I'm going to be a heartless human being and kill this Lugia, but you'd be wrong for today, because I decided to catch Lugia in this run just because I wanted to defy your expectations. Now before I get a million comments saying, why did you hit it if you're going to use the Master Ball? It's because I'm an idiot. Now before anyone asks, yes I did give it a nickname and the nickname was Puff. If you get that reference, let me know in the comments because you're a real one. And if you're wondering what I mean by a real one, you're a real idiot, because why the hell would you get that reference? It's not even a dragon. Now it's time to skip ahead again to Victory Road. Anyway, while on Victory Road, it's finally time for our final battle with our rival in this region. Let's go. He starts off by sending out his Sneasel, which goes down to 1 Hyper Fang, obviously because I'm still over leveled to level 85. Next up he sends out his Golbat, which you guessed it also goes down to 1 Hyper Fang because I'm still over leveled. Next up he sends out his Magneton, which actually goes down to 1 Hyper Fang, which surprised me considering it resists my normal type moves. Next up he sends out Haunter, which goes down to 1 Pursuit. Next up he sends out Kadabra, which also goes super effective, goes down to 1 Pursuit. Last but not least sends out his Feraligatr, which obviously survives the 1 Hyper Fang. I'm just joking, Hyper Fang takes it out in 1 shot. and we finally defeat our rival for the very last time. Finally, with our rival defeated, we arrive at the Indigo Plateau, home of the Elite Four. Bask in the ambiance. Anyway, without any further ado, it's finally time for us to get into the Elite Four. Starting out with Elite Four member, Will, and he sends out his Xatu. And surprisingly, Xatu does not go down to one pursuit. It takes 2 pursuits to take out Xatu. Next up is Nicki Minaj. Now against Nicki Minaj, I hit her with a Hyper Fang, taking her out in one shot. Now this battle actually proves something that I would never have thought in a million years. Nicki Minaj is actually a woman. I also realized at this point that my Pokemon has been a female this entire time. I didn't realize until literally just this moment. So that's pretty funny. Next up he sends out his Executor, which also goes down in one shot from Hyper Fang. Next up he sends out his Slowbro, which you guessed it also goes down to one Hyper Fang. Last but not least, Will sends out his Xatu, which goes down in one shot to Hyper Fang as well, meaning we have beaten the first Elite Four member, Will. And with Elite Four member Will defeated, it's time for the next Elite Four member, Koga, the user of Poison type Pokemon. To start off the battle, he sends out his Ariados, which doesn't go down to one quick attack but knocks it down to like 2 health, and then the second quick attack takes it out. Next up he sends out his Venomoth, which I hit with a Hyper Fang, which is also a crit. I don't know if that mattered, but it takes it down one shot anyway. Next up he sends out his Fortress, which is a very tanky Pokemon and also a Steel type, and I hit it with Hyper Fang doing under half damage, which is very surprising. And then after a quick attack and another Hyper Fang, I take out Fortress. And that's a really tanky Pokemon considering I out-leveled it by like 40 levels, and I still took 3 shots to take it out. Next up he sends out Muck, which is also very tanky, so I thought that I wouldn't take it out in one shot, but somehow Hyper Fang still takes it out in one shot. Last but not least, Koga sends out his Crobat, which also goes down to one Hyper Fang, meaning I've beaten the second Elite Four member. Next up is the third Elite Four member, Bruno, and I assumed I'd have a lot of difficulty in this battle, because most of these Pokemon are super effective against me. Let's see how it goes. As you saw there, I did one shot his first Pokemon with one Hyper Fang. Next up is Hitmonlee. Now Hitmonlee also goes down to one Hyper Fang, if you didn't guess. Next up is Hitmonchan, who also goes down in one Hyper Fang. This is starting to become like a pattern. Next up is Machamp, and I was pretty sure I wouldn't one-shot with Hyper Fang, and then I did. I'm guaranteed if I didn't one-shot it, definitely would have taken me out in one shot. I'm almost certain of it. Last but not least, Bruno sent out his Onix, and I was pretty sure I'd have some trouble with this Pokemon. Now I hit Onix with a Hyper Fang doing about half damage, which was quite surprising to me, to be honest. And then Onix hit me with an Earthquake doing surprisingly very little damage. I thought it would do like a lot of damage, and then I take it out with the second Hyper Fang, defeating Bruno, the third Elite Four member. Anyway, now that Bruno is defeated, it's time for the next Elite Four member, Karen, who sends out my favourite evolution, Umbreon. What's your favourite evolution? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, Umbreon goes down to one Hyper Fang. Next up is Vileplume, which also goes down to a single Hyper Fang. Next up is Gengar, which I hit with Pursuit doing about half health, and then hits me with Spite, dropping the amount of PP that Pursuit has, but I still take it out with a second Pursuit anyway. Next up is Murkrow, which you guessed it goes down to one Hyper Fang. Last but not least, Karen sends out my favourite Den 2 Pokemon, Houndoom. And unfortunately for Houndoom, it's unable to redeem itself and is still taken out with one Hyper Fang. And with that unfortunate statement, we have finally beaten the Elite Four, and it's time to battle the champion. To start off the battle, champion Lance sends out his Gyarados. Now unfortunately Gyarados falls prey to the mighty Hyper Fang. Next up, Lance sends out his first Dragonite, and it goes down to one Hyper Fang with a crit. I don't know if that mattered, but I'm assuming it probably did. Next up, Lance sends out his second Dragonite. Now I use Hyper Fang against the second Dragonite also, but this time it doesn't take it out, it leaves it on like 5 health, but I still get lucky and it flinches, so I get a second attack using Quick Attack to take it out. Next up he sends out his Aerodactyl, which I hit with Hyper Fang doing about 3/4 of its health, and then it hits me with Hyper Beam doing a decent amount of damage. Fortunately I managed to take it out with the second Hyper Fang. Next up, Lance sends out his Charizard, which fortunately goes down to one Hyper Fang. Last but not least, Lance sends out his strongest Dragonite. Now unfortunately for me, I missed my first Hyper Fang against this Dragonite, but luckily for me, he decides to use Safeguard instead of actual attack, so I get 2 more Hyper Fangs off defeating his Dragonite, and somehow beating Champion Lance. And we have completed the Youngster Joey challenge. Now as I stood here staring at my top percent Rattata in the Hall of Fame, I couldn't help but feel like we had missed something. So it's time for us to really prove our Rattata is the best Pokemon in all of history. Yes, it is time for us to battle Red. To start off the battle, Red sends out his Pikachu, which goes down to one Hyper Fang. Next up he sends out his Espeon, which I hit with Hyper Fang, doing a lot of damage, almost taking it out. And then he hits me with a critical Psychic, taking me out in one shot. Yes, you saw that right. I got taken out in one shot. On my next attempt at this battle, I didn't get critical hit from Espeon, so I survived its Psychic, and then I take it out with a second Hyper Fang. Anyway, next up Red sends out his Snorlax, which I hit with Hyper Fang and miss, and then it takes me out with a Body Slam. But because I'm a glutton for punishment, I'm going to retry this fight. But before I attempt this fight again, I decided to grind up to level 100, and at level 100 I somehow managed to one-shot Espeon with Hyper Fang, meaning I get up to Snorlax with full health. Even at full health, Snorlax's Body Slam does like half my health, so it would take me out in 2 shots, but somehow I get lucky with my second Hyper Fang, and it flinches so I get a third attack, taking it out. It's time for the next Pokemon. Next up he sends out Venusaur, which is also really tanky, but I hit it with a Hyper Fang, and then it decides to charge a Solar Beam, so I get a second Hyper Fang off, taking it out before it gets to attack me. Next up, Red sends out his Charizard, which I hit with the Hyper Fang, doing a decent amount of damage, but then it takes me out with the Flamethrower, because it's time to retry one more time. After 3 more attempts, I managed to get up to Charizard on 1 more health than I was on last time. And then I get super lucky with a crit, taking out Charizard and 1 Hyper Fang. Last but not least, he sends out his Blastoise, which I hit with Hyper Fang, doing just under half damage, and then he hits me with Surf Leaf for me on 15 health. I hit it with 1 more Hyper Fang and it just survives on like 5 health, and then it takes me out with a second Surf. After about a dozen re-attempts, I get back up to Blastoise once again on 131 health. This time I hit it with a Hyper Fang, doing about 3/4 of its health instead of half its health, and then I hit it with a second Hyper Fang, taking it out, and somehow defeating Red with only a Rattata. And with that, somehow we have beaten Pokemon Silver with only a Rattata. That last battle with Red took me about 67 attempts. That was where I lost count, I'm pretty sure. So that was a pretty hard battle. If you guys did enjoy the video, please leave a like on it. If you didn't enjoy the video, leave a dislike on it and leave a comment down below. Tell me what you didn't like so I can improve on my videos. I'd really appreciate that. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. We're trying to hit 150 subscribers before my birthday. And it's only a few days away, it's on the 22nd of May, so if we can do that, that'd be so great. Now, before I let you guys go, I do want to briefly explain why I haven't uploaded in 2 months, and I am going to start uploading now every 2 weeks, if not every week, if I can get videos out. It mostly was because of the whole COVID and lockdown stuff. I wasn't able to upload videos because I was just moving house during that time, and also I got pretty sick. I didn't have the unknowable disease that is going around, fortunately, because that stuff's pretty scary, I'll be honest with you. But I should be able to upload more often now, and I do apologize to all you guys that have been wanting videos from me and I haven't uploaded anything. If you guys are angry, leave it in the comments and let me know how angry you are at me for not uploading, and I'll read them all and I will cry myself to sleep tonight. And yeah, so yeah, I hope you guys are ready for all the new videos coming out, and if you haven't seen any of my old videos, there'll be a playlist in the bottom right corner of all my old challenge videos, and if you want to subscribe, there will be a picture of my face in the bottom left corner, so you can go and do that right now. Thank you very much, and I appreciate every single one of you. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.